Special today. All of you be able to contact me on Zoom, and I'll, God willing, take your questions. Now, as soon as this thing comes up, it has my description of this Facebook Live has a Zoom meeting number. Where the heck is it? This is supposed to. You guys see it? I wrote it. It should be right there. What happened to my description?
What? Should I put on a piece of paper?
Yeah, give me a piece of paper.
It usually says up there.
No, it should say here too.
793.
Yeah, but wait, are you reading this from Facebook?
No, I'm reading it from what I joined.
Yeah, join.
I wrote my description. Why is it not here? People should be able to see what this.
Write it down. What is it? 793.
Okay, I want to see whoever wants to join me to make this much more interactive. I'm going to talk to you about eating bats, and I'm going to answer your relationship questions. What's the connection? Don't ask me about connections during coronavirus. Exactly.
793 what?
Yeah.
9221.
Here, let's hold it so people can see it.
2.
I want to read something to you and read amazing from the Parsha of the week.
It's so long. 0551.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay. You got to write Zoom. That's if anyone goes to Zoom right now, you'll be able to join in. 793-392. What does that say? 221.
793.
9221. 0551.
Yeah, but I actually wrote it.
What is it?
You guys who are looking at Facebook, can you tell me if you can see the Zoom thing that I put in? Oh, some people are joining. Okay. But I put in a Zoom number in the description of this Facebook Live. Why is it not showing it? And anyone who's on Instagram, join me now. 793-221.
9221.
793-9221-0551. Okay, join now. Let's see if you guys can join me on Zoom as well. Dave, you're watching me from Canada. I appreciate it. Does it say that my description about should people eat bats?
They said, can you type it?
It should allow me to put in a comment.
Click comment.
Where?
Over there where you clicked before. Try it again.
It's not working.
There.
Oh, here.
793.
No, I have it. Oh, I had it before.
Click send. That's why.
No. It says beta. What's the number?
793.
Okay, here's the number. The Zoom. Hang on a second. Zoom. What is it?
793.
793.
9221.
9221. Yeah.
0551.
0551. I'm gonna say join now. Okay. Let's see who wants to join.
Simchazon.
Okay, I see Rachalei Boteach. I see Achara. Okay. Achar Ahmed Khan. Okay, hello. Thanks for joining us. Who else?
There's someone named Simcha who's here.
Where? Okay, whoever could join us. So you guys saw what I wrote about bats. Okay, as you join me, this is it. I think I should wear it. Should I wear it? Can I wear it on like my head? You guys can see it. This is the Zoom number. Try to join me on Zoom right now. I'll hold it here for a second for those of you that want to join. First thing I want to tell you is we read in the Torah today, Parsha Shmuley. It's about the 8th day of the consecration of the tabernacle. But it then goes through the laws of kosher food and kosher animals. And guess what? Bats are not kosher. Tinshamas. You know what a tinshamas? It starts listing all of the birds that you can't eat. And the tinshamas, Rashi says, the great biblical commentator Rashi says, is a mouse that has wings. That's a bat, right? And then an atalef is directly translated as a bat. That's the Zoom number. Let's write Zoom here so people know what this is. Okay, Zoom. See if you can join me on Zoom. Okay. An atalef is a bat. Tinshamas is a bat. So the Bible says directly you shouldn't be eating bats. I really don't understand how the wet markets in China were not shut down. Now there's this whole debate whether the coronavirus was engineered in a Chinese virology lab, not to weaponize it, let me point that out. No one's accusing the Chinese of weaponizing the coronavirus. They are accusing, and there are some credible news sources that are now talking about this, they are accusing the Chinese of having experimented with this coronavirus in Wuhan in the Instant Virology Institute, and it got out of hand and somebody caught it and then it was passed to humans. Okay, that's one explanation. The other explanation is that someone ate a bat, or they put the bats together with other animals that people ate, and it jumped species. But the Torah is clear. Let me show this to you in the Hebrew. So this is a duchifas, those of you who read Hebrew. The Torah is listing all of the things that you can't eat. Look what it says about bats. Here. The stork, the heron, the hoopoe. What's the hoopoe? And the bat. You can't eat bats. So they should have closed down. Had we listened to the Bible, maybe we could have skipped the coronavirus. I was even asking my kids today, maybe kosher animals should start being universal. Maybe it should apply to all people at all times. Maybe human beings should only eat the animals that the Bible says we should eat. I know that you'd have to give up your lobster. You'd have to give up shrimp and shellfish. But clearly the bat thing, how did the bat thing even start? I'm not here to pass judgment on Chinese culture. But now that we know this coronavirus thing happened, they should shut down the wet markets. But let me be clear, that the Bible says that you cannot eat birds the Torah says they look like mice with wings. That sounds like a bat to me. That's a duchiv. It's in this Untitled. Okay, I need Shane, I need your help here. So people want to ask me questions. I'm going to answer questions now on relationships. I'm trying this out. We're doing this because I told you, people have been asking me through Facebook Live if we could do more and more interactive. So how many people do we have here now? So if you can join me right now on Zoom. How do I unmute them?
You could. Maybe if they want to ask a question, tell them to chat their name if they have a
Okay.
question.
If anyone has a question for me, please chat that you have a question. I'm going to unmute you. There's Elaine. I can unmute you. Ben Ananya. Someone tell me, please. Michael Safir. Jason's iPhone. Moshe Gittler's my own son-in-law. Does my own son-in-law have a name? You have a question for me? Here, someone chat. Here, let me write it. A question, please. Okay. And again, whoever's looking at Facebook, try to get on Zoom right now. I want to make this more interactive. So that's the code for this thing. This is more of an experiment on it. It's going to be a little bit messy. Through. From Ben Hananya, Shalom. Okay, here. Go ahead. Let me unmute you. Unmute. Hey, okay. Can you hear me? I can't see you. How are you? Hello? I can hear you.
Maybe he didn't unmute himself.
I just heard you a second ago. This is more of an experiment. I'm trying to answer questions.
Click unmute again.
I hope you guys all heard that fascinating insight about the Torah reading today and how we shouldn't be eating bats. Maybe we could have avoided the whole coronavirus. Ben Hananya, I'm unmuting you again. You're unmuted. Unmute.
He probably muted.
Maybe you muted yourself. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
I can hear you.
No, I don't have any question. I was listening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you from?
I'm Bryson, England.
Oh, you're kidding. It's late there.
Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you listen to me?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Oh.
Are people safe in England right now?
Yes.
By the way, Shane, are we recording this? We are, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys all locked down?
Yes, we are. For more 3 weeks.
How's your prime minister?
He's in recovery now.
Uh-huh. He did one video on Twitter. I was glad to see that he was better, but I didn't see anything else. Was there anything else after that?
No, he's fine, but he is in recovery.
Okay. Well, I hope you stay safe. Thank you for calling me.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless you. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Let me see. Do we have any brave souls? I see David. I see Michael Safir. I see, is it Cat Chambers? I see Boteach, it's my own daughter. I see Jennifer Cohen. Oh, Michael Safir, I watched your video on Kosher Jesus recently. It was pretty interesting. I'm Jewish, by the way. Okay, let me unmute you, Michael. Hang on.
You have to find it.
Okay, I found you. Okay, you have to unmute yourself as well. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so you read my book, Kosher Jesus? Let me also just give people...
No, I just watched...
Whoever wants to get on Zoom.
I just watched the video.
Oh.
You can see him if you want.
Wow, why can't I see him?
You have to do speaker view.
Oh, how do I do
Pin
that?
your video. Unpin your video.
Here or show me
Left
where?
click your video.
Here, you can do it like
Wait, I want to be able to see you. Hang on a second. Oh, there you are.
speaker view. So
No,
now
but
it'll
pin
go
his
between
video.
you two.
Wait, okay.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead. You read Kosher Jesus?
Watch the video.
You watched the video. I don't see him. What happened? I don't hear you anymore.
There.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Tell
Go
me,
ahead.
did you mute him by accident?
I didn't.
again?
I didn't mute you.
Wait.
Oh my god.
This thing is not going.
You can just.
Okay, I can't hear you. Talk again. This is so weird.
Where is he? Check if he's unmuted. What's
He had to mute himself.
Did you mute yourself by accident?
He said I had to mute himself. And now it's locked.
I needed to
So
mute
you have-
myself again, and now it's
So
locked.
let's unmute him.
Okay.
Kazan. Oh my god.
Ben Ananya.
That's not his
Unmute.
name. No, that's the wrong. Oh, that's his name. No, that's the other guy.
Okay.
You know what? You could just unmute everybody and ask them to mute themselves.
Michael Sophia is the one.
Sorry. Hey, hang on a second.
You hear me?
Wait, Michael Saphir?
Yeah, first mute that guy.
I did.
No, Ben Hanani.
I muted him. Okay, now.
Michael Sophia.
Michael Saphir, where?
Really? There.
Hey, Michael. Okay. Here, I unmuted you. Michael, you're back. You read.
Yes.
You watched one of my debates on Kosher Jesus?
No, I just watched a video that you did.
Yeah.
I think before you released the book.
Yeah.
It was on YouTube, and it was really interesting because usually a lot of people say Yamach Shemo, Vizikro, and stuff. And I guess you kind of opened up an interesting
Okay, so
perspective on it.
thanks you for saying that. I was just talking about that today with my kids. Yeah, when I published Kosher Jesus, I think it was 2012. People went nuts. How could an Orthodox rabbi call Jesus kosher? And what I said was that the Jesus of Christianity is not the Jesus of Judaism. The Jesus of Judaism was a rebel against Rome, never started a new religion, never veered from the Torah, kept all the laws of the Torah, says clearly in Matthew chapter 5, verse 18, that anyone who gives up even the smallest letter of the Torah will be the least in the kingdom of heaven. And I said, yes, St. Paul changed that whole narrative, and some of the early Christian authors and editors changed that narrative. But the Jesus that fought the Romans, stood up for his people, kept Judaism, said that Judaism can never change. A lot of that Jesus is still found even in the synoptic gospels of Mark, Matthew, Luke. Not a lot of him is found in the book of John. But the original story is there. You should read the book. You got to get the book.
Yeah, I'd love to
I'm
get
not even saying that because you have to buy the book. I don't even mind if you borrow it from a library. So I'm not trying to make my I think I get 10% from that book, right? So I would make $2. But so you just go and borrow it. I'm good with that too.
Okay. I don't know.
Where
I
are
guess
you?
I'll ask my friends if they have it.
Where are you? Where are you writing from? Where are you? Speaking from?
Queens, New York.
Oh, are you in lockdown?
Yeah, pretty much.
How long have you been in lockdown?
What kind of lockdown? How long have I been at home? Or
No, I mean how long have you been stuck in your house?
I guess since mid-March.
Since mid-March. Yeah, we're about the same. Well, I appreciate. By the way, there's a lot of videos, debates of my my sparring with my friend Michael Brown, who's a great Christian scholar. He's a Jew converted to Christianity, and that's what you should watch. Okay, my debates with Michael Brown. God bless you. I really appreciate it. Okay, I got to figure out how to do this.
Thank you.
I'm going to mute you now. Anyone else? Jason from iPhone 8 is asking me, do you believe the growing trend of rainbows everywhere is God's trying to talk to us? Let me unmute you, Jason, from iPhone 8. Okay. Hey, where's Jason?
Hi.
Hey.
I'm right here. Hi.
I see.
No, you gotta. No. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but I don't see you.
Yeah, because I'm in bed, so I don't want to.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You asked me about rainbows. What'd you ask me?
Well, basically, what I see is that, we have a growing trend of rainbows everywhere in the world. And so we know that the rainbow is the sign of the covenant with Noah, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering that as we get closer and closer to the Messianic age, if you think that this is the return of mankind returning to the covenant of Noah. We also have an aspect with the bats, as you mentioned before, not to eat an animal with a limb ripped off of a live animal.
Yeah.
And, they treat dogs like that horribly. They eat like that all the time, in China. So that's what, just a general perspective on what we see happening in the world as we get closer and closer to in the Messianic age. If you think that this growing trend of rainbows, etc., is part of this whole, focus.
Well, okay. Rainbows are beautiful, but for us Jews and anyone who reads the Bible, they're beautiful, but they're a little bit alarming because it's a reminder that God keeps the world, sustains it, doesn't annihilate humanity because he made a promise, not because we're necessarily deserving of it. Interesting you bring that up during the coronavirus. I don't see the coronavirus as punishment from God. I see too many innocent people suffering. I see too many of the elderly and the most vulnerable suffering. I see too much heroism on the part of first responders. So are we seeing more rainbows today, these days? Maybe. I don't know. I bet a meteorologist can tell you that. I have no empirical evidence that there's more rainbows right now. But as far as what you're saying, that in the wet markets of China, that they're ripping off the limbs of living animals, or they're eating living animals, or cooking living animals, that is if that is what's happening, that is expressly prohibited by the Bible. And I just said that in today's Torah reading, it's quite amazing. This is today's. There's all these lists. I'm showing you a list of all these animals, and especially birds, fowl, which can't be eaten. And twice the Bible says in this week's Torah reading that bats can't be eaten. Now, I saw Dr. Anthony Fauci speaking, and he was asked whether the coronavirus was engineered in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. He said he doesn't actually believe that. He said he goes back. He said that in evolutionary terms, what seems to have happened is that it came from a bat and it jumped species to a human. Is that because a human ate a bat? Is it because a bat bit something that a human ate? But the point is, bats are sold in these wet markets, and I'm surprised that there isn't more upset that they haven't been shut down. You know, there's a whole debate going on right now as to how culpable China is for the coronavirus. Now, no one's saying that they intended to spread a global virus, and no one's saying they're responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths, and no one's saying that they're responsible for all the economic shutdowns and lockdowns. What people are saying is they were not forthcoming about information about how contagious this was and how much it spread. And what people also say, oh, what's happened? Why the heck have you not shut down the wet markets? I saw, it was either ABC News or NBC News. They went into the exact wet market in Wuhan where the virus started, where they think they can trace patient zero, and it's still open. Now, if that's not insane, if you look at the devastation around the world, hundreds of thousands of people dying, millions infected, and you still have that wet market, disgusting coronavirus-infested bats being sold to the public, there's something deeply wrong there. But as far as the rest of it about the whether there's more rainbows now, I just don't know. God bless. I really appreciate it. Who else is going to ask me a question? Oh, Harrison Furman is asking me about Oxford. Let me unmute you. Hello, Harrison. How are you? Where are you, Harrison? Hey.
So, yeah.
Hey.
Hello, Rabbi.
How's it going, man? Oh, let me just show everyone else. Whoever's watching on Facebook, you can get this on Zoom. And this is the conference code. It's hard for me to read it backward. What does it say? 793-9221-0551, correct? Mm-hmm. You can go to Zoom right now and you don't need a password or anything. You can join the Zoom conference. Where are you calling me from?
I'm actually right now in Florida with my parents, but I'm from South Jersey, Atlantic City area.
Oh, are you in lockdown?
Excuse me?
Are you in lockdown?
Yeah, I'm in lockdown in Florida. Yeah.
Oh, you're in lockdown in Florida, but you're from New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm in Florida with my parents, but I live in Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've seen you speak before, and I've seen videos about stories about in Oxford with Senator Cory Booker, Ambassador Ron Dermer. Can you tell some stories about how you're an Oxford Chabad rabbi and what you did to see these future leaders?
Why stop with me telling stories when you can actually read the book? Where's Moses of Oxford? I wrote. It's a long book, but the good thing is you don't have to read all of it. I wrote my book Moses of Oxford about my experiences as a rabbi at Oxford over 11 years, and I'll show you something really interesting in a moment. But this is the book. It's 2 volumes. It's 1,500 pages. You can order it online at Shmuley.com. But yes, Cory Booker was my president in 1993. He was my student president, and Ambassador Ron Dermer, Israel's ambassador to the United States, was my student president. I think in 1996. But let me show you something really interesting. I got to get it for a second. Hold on. It's here. I know it's here. Oh, no, it was here. something really...
What?
I have a picture here that Ambassador Dermer sent to me a few months ago. Oh, why is it not here? Too bad. I'll find it. I have a picture here. It's my home office. Ambassador Dermer, when Dominic Raab became the British foreign minister, and now he's running the government while Boris Johnson is recuperating. So Ambassador Dermer sent me a picture when Ron, the ambassador, graduated at Oxford. So there's a custom, everyone goes out for drinks. And when Dominic Raab became the foreign minister, so Ron called me and said, I'm going to send you a picture. I found a picture of me, you, and Dominic having drinks right after wearing our gowns. In Oxford, you wear gowns during right after your exams. You have these exams called the examination rooms on the high street near University College. And I have the picture. I thought it was right here. I thought I saw it the other day. But stories, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is in here. There's pictures of me and Corey when he was when we had a lot of famous speakers at Oxford. I believed in cultivating values-based leadership. One of these has a picture of Corey as an undergraduate. I mean, I have a lot of pictures, but these are the ones that were published in the actual book. It's good that we have this. Oh, let's see. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu. When he spoke for us twice, well before he was Israeli prime minister, and now Ron, of course, is his ambassador. We specialized in debates on science and religion. He passed away already. This was the Australian Prime Minister, Bob Hawke. Incredible speaker. He was also a Rhodes Scholar. Let me just see what the pictures of Corey are. Anyway, the point is, I wrote about all this because it was very meaningful. And we did try our best to cultivate young leaders. At a Purim party. There's also a video online of Corey dancing with me on Purim. There should be stuff about Ron as well. But Ambassador Dermer and I remain very close till this very day. He's an extraordinary diplomat. He's an extraordinary representative of the State of Israel to the United States and to the American Jewish community. We were even in Alaska together this past summer and studied Torah almost the whole... We spent a Shabbat together in Alaska this past summer, and it was like... I said to Ron, it's like our Oxford days, because in Oxford we were able to study together on these long summer... you know that England has a very high latitude, so the Sabbaths in the summer, like in Trinity term, it's called the third term. Sabbaths go out at 11 o'clock at night. In Alaska, it goes out at 1 a.m. So we studied Torah like the whole day, and it was very special. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Okay, God bless. Take care. Okay. Let me see who else is here. Shayna, can you come and help me? So, I said this is all experiments. Everybody excuse the mistakes in technology. I'm getting used to this. Anyone else? Oh, I don't know. Michael Safir is saying maybe people are eating bats because they want to become superheroes like Batman. Look, in the final analysis, I don't know what started the coronavirus. I do know it's an amazing thing to have the Torah reading this week being all about how we shouldn't be eating bats. And as I said, the wet markets in China should be shut down. And any mistreatment of animals should cease immediately. You don't have to be a member of PETA to believe in treating animals with basic dignity and respect. And even if we're going to consume animal flesh. And remember, in the Bible, Adam and Eve are not allowed to eat any animals. They're completely vegetarian. They're vegan. It's only Noah and his children that are allowed to eat animal flesh because all the vegetation had been destroyed by the flood. So God's basic deal was, look, you saved all the animals in the ark, therefore I'll let you to partake of their flesh so long, in order to sustain yourself, in order to survive. But so long as you take their flesh, you take their lives with the utmost respect, no pain. That's why in Judaism, we sever the carotid artery. The carotid artery is severed and the animal loses consciousness immediately. And also, there's so many laws of kashrut. They're all in this week's Torah reading. We're not allowed to eat any animals that are predatory. We can't have any birds of prey. That's why we don't eat bats. I think eating bats, it's it just the thought of it is painful. But the laws of kashrut are that we only eat animals that are herbivores, animals that don't consume any other flesh. Okay, I'm running out of time here. I'm going to take one more question. And there's a lot of people writing, hey Ariel, how's it going, man? Richard Manick said, Bob Hawke was the greatest leader Australia had. He was an amazing man. It's very sad that he passed away, but he was one of our speakers. We had so many speakers at Oxford. I'm glad that you asked that. And again, you can get Moses of Oxford online. Some of the students who were very involved in the Oxford L'chaim Society when I was the rabbi, I'm going to talk about this since someone asked about it. It was already mentioned. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, Mayor Eric Garcetti of Los Angeles. Eric remains a good friend. Eric is a very special man. My father's in the hospital in Los Angeles. He came to visit my father. He came with his father as well, Gil Garcetti, Ambassador Ron Dermer, many others. Let me take this last question. Do you think Jesus was possibly righteous enough that he'll be resurrected during the Tchias HaMesim? Yeah, good question. No one ever asked me that. In other words, you're asking if the interpretation of Jesus is as I say it is in kosher Jesus, meaning he's not divine, he's not the Messiah because he didn't fulfill the Messianic prophecies, even if he thought he was the Messiah. By the way, there's nothing in Judaism that says that you can't think you're the Messiah. That's not blasphemous, and it's not sacrilegious. I could think I'm the Messiah. Any of you could think you're the Messiah. It's going to come down to whether you fulfill the Messianic prophecies. If I, Shmuley Boteach, end all world war, find the cure to the coronavirus, end all disease, resurrect the dead, and rebuild the temple, I'm the Messiah, ta-da! But I haven't done any of those things, so I'm not. But give me time. Just give me some time. There's nothing in Judaism that says that you can't believe you're the Messiah or can't aspire to be the Messiah. You're going to be judged by whether or not you fulfill the Messianic prophecies. Our rejection of the Messiahship of Jesus is not because we believe he didn't think he was the Messiah. He might have. And he might have sought to throw off the yoke of Rome from the Jewish people. But in the final analysis, we're going to judge Jesus by whether or not he fulfilled the Messianic prophecy. So now you're asking, given that interpretation, do I think that Jesus was righteous enough that he could be part of Tchiat HaMesim? From what I understand of the Jesus who did not invent a new religion, Christianity, by all the laws of the Torah and the Halacha, who was a Pharisaic rabbi, and who fought for his people and was murdered by the Romans for being a champion of his people, it's possible. It's possible. But then that's my interpretation of Jesus as is found in Kosher Jesus. So it's for all of you to read the book and to determine whether you feel my interpretation is correct. What I will say is that while Christians reject my interpretation because they believe in his divinity, his messiahship, etc., and while many Jews won't even read the book because they feel that the whole idea of Jesus is something treif, something not kosher at all. If you do read the book, I think it's compelling. But remember, I'm very devoted to the Torah, and I'm never going to change the Torah. And I don't think Jesus had any plan to change the Torah either. And with that, I'm going to say that this little experiment that we started with was okay. Oh, Miriam Wartell, yeah. Let me get you, Miriam. You'll be the last speaker. Let me find you. Unmute. Okay. Where are you, Miriam?
Yay. Thanks for muting me. How are you? Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov. What do you think is happening in the world? Are you talking about coronavirus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the whole thing in general. So I kind of feel like the
world
in general is going through,
where are you,
really...
Where are you
what did you say?
Where are you speaking from?
What did you say?
Where are you speaking from?
Oh, Philly.
Okay. Hope you're safe. Go ahead.
What did you say?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So I really feel like what's going on in the world is it's basically like, I think, a mass correction. And I'm saying this from something also, a personal shift that happened in my own life that in kind of going through what I went through, I started to see kind of the world mimic a certain type of process afterwards. And so I just wrote a book, and I messaged you on Instagram. I'm not sure if you saw it. You and I have messaged each other a few times before. I'm under the Kosher Coupon Lady on Instagram. I just wrote a book called Lessons in Law of Attraction. And I'm talking about Shuva, someone who's become religious and who was into secular spirituality, coming across someone who, learning about all that law of attraction that we think, feel, and believe creates our reality, right? So as I was writing this book, actually, I just finished it just in time for this whole fun, pandemic. Understanding the power of collective thought, so taking principles from the Zohar, Kabbalah, things like that we do have the ability to essentially create with God. I feel like, simplest way to explain it, everything that happens in our life, God's holding up a mirror. We get a mirror of that, right? I'm sure you know a lot of what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to say a lot really quickly. I feel like God's holding up a giant mirror to the world. And he's been holding up a mirror about how we've been viewing him. And I feel like if we want a better reflection, we have to change our global and communal viewpoint to God being merciful and loving and caring.
Well, can I just say, obviously I agree. We have to be, it says in this week's Torah reading, God says, I am holy, and you have to be holy, and that means God is compassionate. We have to be compassionate. God is long-suffering. We have to be patient, etc. But why say that any of this has to do with the coronavirus as a massive correction? Does it really take hundreds of thousands of people dying, being on ventilators for that correction? Surely a correction can come about through a painless means. Surely God, in his infinite power, God is omnipotent, can bring about a human correction or any great lesson we have that we have to learn. Let's say there was some great lesson we had to learn that the coronavirus taught us. Maybe we had to learn to be closer to our families. Maybe we had to learn to be less materialistic. Maybe we had to learn not to define ourselves by our careers because it's hard to go to work right now, but to define ourselves more through our our relationships. Even if that were the case, you don't need people dying in homes for the elderly. You don't need whole old age homes wiped out to teach us that lesson. I mean, I feel that what you're saying, while there may be a need for a correction, one of the main differences that I always see between my Christian brothers and sisters and us in Judaism is that in Christianity, someone has to die for the world to achieve correction, for the world to achieve redemption.
Can I clarify?
But it's not what we Jews believe. We don't believe that that grandparents need to die for this correction to take place. Surely that God can bring it about in a painless means. No.
Yeah, can I just want to clarify in case that came off. When I'm talking about the correction, it's just the fact that us being home doing our reflection. I wasn't referring to anything of the death related part. I'm just referring to the fact that we're going through a different, like a new normal, right? We're not in a regular phase of daily life. We have more time to sit home and contemplate. That's the part I was referring to as being able to do that inner correction. No one can say why this stuff is going on and why it's affecting, people of a certain age group and vulnerabilities. And, look, it's scary. But all I know is that if there's anything history has taught us is that anytime something negative happens, something positive always comes after it. And I'm trying to say that somehow this is going to bring some good. I feel like it already has brought a lot of good. And it's
that's possible. I hope it will happen. I was about to write a column called Brave New World. There will be a brave new world that emerges from the coronavirus, God willing. Of course, that title is, I'm purposely subverting the title because Brave New World was a famous book written in the 20th century, which was about, it was a dystopia about a horrible new world that came about it. But maybe there will be a world that is more compassionate, better values. I just don't think the coronavirus was worth it. I want to see a better world. I want to see families that have dinner together like most families are doing now, out of almost a sense of obligation because they're in quarantine. I want to see parents who prioritize their children. I want to see doctors and nurses considered heroic and not only when we're facing a global pandemic. I want to see all those things. I just don't think the coronavirus is worth paying that price at all. To use an extreme example, if I may, very extreme. Right now, in early 2020, we're going through all the 75th anniversaries of things related to the Holocaust. They're not being mentioned because the coronavirus dominates the news. But last week, today, was the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Elie Wiesel from Buchenwald by the American troops. The liberation of Bergen-Belsen, as I think today or tomorrow, that was by the British 75 years ago. Last Sunday, I spoke about the 75th anniversary of the death of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who defeated Hitler. But I bring all of this up because a lot of people say the Holocaust was the worst crime in the history of the world, and it was the worst thing to ever happen. But it led to the creation of the state of Israel. So it was redeemed. Good came of it. That's a terrible thing to say. Because there was 6 million people don't have to die for the Jews to have a country of their own. 6 million people don't have to be gassed and shot, and 30-odd thousand murdered in a ravine called Babi Yar, and 44-odd thousand murdered over 2 days in Majdanek, Lublin, in the Harvest Festival in Poland. None of this had to happen for Israel to come into existence. So I don't believe the coronavirus is worth it. And I reject mass pandemics, mass murder, anything that happens that takes so many lives as being a redemptive event. I would much rather see all of this redemption coming about in a positive way. Having said that, I will look up your book. You said it's called Laws of Attraction?
Lessons in Law of Attraction. It's on Amazon. I can send you a copy. You can order a copy.
Send me a copy.
My info if you want. I sent you a DM on Instagram.
Send me
if you want to look for it. But I think you'll like the whole philosophy of it. I don't have time to go through the whole thing, and I don't want to keep plugging my book on here without your permission. But
it's okay.
It's the whole philosophy will make a lot of sense with what's going on. It's really a nice merger of secular spiritual philosophy and Jewish religious philosophy. I think you'll really appreciate it.
I'm going to read it. Send me information about it if you don't mind on info@shmuley.com, info@shmuley.com. Okay, guys, with that, it's pretty late. I'm going to wish you all...
I'll do that now. Can you send me a quick reply back when you get it?
Yeah, info@shmuley.com. Anyway, God bless you all. Remember, the Torah expressly prohibits the eating of bats. It calls it tinshamis or tuchifas. Those are the Hebrew words. Amazing that this was written 3,300 years ago in the Torah of divine origin. And I hope that they shut down the wet markets in China. And China has to do so much more to take responsibility for the lack of information, because I think the world could have prepared more. But my position always was that well before the coronavirus, China should have been held accountable for suppressing democracy and human rights. China should be held accountable for being a one-party state. I want to see countries where human rights flourishes. I'm a great believer in democracy. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, God willing. God bless you all.